Before we start taking questions, please remember, for our training starting next week, you are free to join the upcoming training. You can send me a chat. I'm sending my number to the WhatsApp in case you require further. So you can send a chat, and we're happy to even give a discount to all those who took part in this session. We would probably announce the discount on the group, if at all. So let's take questions. Let me start from Samuel. Your hands are up. Let's take your question. Samuel, we can't hear you. All right, Bisola, you have the mic.
Hi, thank you.
Yep.
Sorry, I wanted to ask if how do we do the entry if you are doing part payment?
Part payment.
Yes, please.
All right, let's illustrate that. So like, how much are you paying? Let's say, can you give an example? Can you just state an amount that we are paying? Oops, it's like the person has muted. So let's say we are paying 30,000. I mean 30 million. 30 million. Let's say we are paying 30 million. So what we will assume is that we'll say, the way I would like to look at it is to say, because I need to find a portion of the WHT that this 30 million represents. That's the way I would like to approach it. Let me just create that scenario real quick. So 30 million, the WHT that we ought to deduct is say 5%, this times 5%. Before arriving at this 30 million, in short, don't know for this. Before arriving at this 30 million, in our head, we must have deducted some portion. So maybe we deducted 5%. We're supposed to deduct 5% WHT. So before arriving at this 30 million, in our head, we have deducted the 5%. We can take it that we can start that way. Is one way to approach it. So we'll say, gross it up, 30 million divided by 95%. So that means we must have effectively withheld this 1578. So what we'll do is to debit trade payable with the grossed up amount, credit bank with 30 million, and credit WHT payable with the balance. This is one way I would like to look at it. I don't know who asked that question. I would have liked to unmute us so that we engage her further. I think it was Bisola.
Yes, I already typed it. I was saying 50%. So if we okay.
So did you get the logic I use here?
Yes, you added the VAT to it from
No, not VAT, WHT.
WHT. My apologies.
Yeah.
I'm trying to process it.
So if I added the WHT to this 31, sure, let me do that further again to now say, okay, to say, what is calling? I hope this person calling me is not from this class. I would respond to your calls after. So the total amount paid in trade payable, we say this grossed up plus plus. Okay, let's just leave it this way. let's leave it this way. Maybe at the final payment, we can now add VAT payable. Let's not overthink it. Another way to avoid overthinking is just simply to say debit trade payable with 30 million and credit bank with the same 30 million. When it's time to pay the final amount, we'll be doing reconciliation. That's another way to approach it. I think this is even cleaner. This is even better this way. Instead of going through this approach, I will just delete this approach. At the end of the day, everything is depending on your discussion and your agreement with the vendor. Okay, somebody on the chat box says, please, I'm a bit confused with VAT withholding liability. What does it imply, sir? Great. So VAT withholding liability is the VAT withheld by companies that are required to withhold VAT before they make payment. It is different from output VAT. Output VAT is the VAT we charge our customers when we sell goods to them, VATable goods to them. But VAT withholding is saying that at the point of making payment to our vendor, instead of making 100 to them, we'll withhold 10 based on the law, or we'll withhold 7.5. So VAT withholding is the VAT that we withhold or withheld at source before paying vendor. VAT on invoice or input VAT or output VAT rather is the VAT we charge our customer at the point of selling and invoicing to our customers. Two different things. One relates to vendor payment, the other one relates to customers. Madam Abosade, I hope this is covered well. So, do we have anything from the chat box? None. Before we call it a class, do we have anyone who wants to voice out any question? So somebody says, at what point do we remit output VAT? A tax question. I think it used to be 21 days after the transaction date, and I think a month after the transaction date or so, but they put a deadline then. It used to be 21st or so. But I think that deadline has been changed. I can't remember now. I think either 14th or so. I will confirm that 14th or 10th of every month now. I will confirm that and probably send to the chat box. So there is a deadline for remittance of VAT. It's not output VAT per se, it's your net VAT liability, your output VAT minus your input VAT. So remittance is supposed to be made on or before the deadline. People. All right, Samuel has sent his question. He said, please, I still need further clarification on WAT. Where I'm currently working, the company is into FMCG industry. We have 3 subsidiaries that are manufacturing goods, while my company is the one distributing the goods. Whenever they deliver the goods to us, it comes with invoice, but whenever we want to make payments, we pay the gross amount, and this is how it has been done for years. But we have other vendors. I would have liked to unmute you. The thing has scattered. I would have liked to unmute you. Samuel, you have the mic. Is this something you can speak about where you are? I can't hear you, Samuel. Let me unmute Sean Prosper.
Okay. Thank you very much, moderator, so far.
Yep.
So I think me and Samuel are kind of similar in the same industry. I work for an FMCG company too. No, like a key distributor actually for FMCG. So I'm just trying to understand why does for instance, we have customers, we also have vendors. Why do I really have to crack my head to be withholding my vendors what is it called, VAT? When many of the times, yes, exactly, it happens. By the time they send us their invoice from the vendor, we actually pay them everything, including the VAT on the invoice from the payable act. Exactly. and then from our customers, by the time we are selling out, we'll automatically charge VAT. And so in the computations, we only do what is it called, the input versus the output. So I'm just trying to understand, why do we need to do withholding the VAT for the vendor, and then bearing that responsibility again from the
Yeah.
end of the cost?
So not all companies have that obligation. Only a
Okay.
handful of companies have that obligation. Your company may not have that obligation. That's why they are not withholding VAT. But if your
Okay.
company was maybe an oil and gas company, a
Okay.
bank, or a telecom a company, and so a couple of other companies too, construction too, a couple of them, they are
Okay.
obligated to withhold VAT.
Oh, okay.
But if your
Okay.
company is not in that bucket, no worry, you don't need to withhold any VAT.
Exactly. Then finally, I want to assume that the scenario for when you'll be told what is it called, WHT, are for service companies, right?
Well, I want to say that the scenario for withholding WAT is based on the principle and the law. That's how I want to respond to that.
Can you be detailed on that?
So if you enter into a transaction and you are required to deduct WAT, deduct WAT. It's not all
Okay,
transactions that you deduct WAT
that,
on.
exactly. No
And
transaction. Then
and the distinguishment or distinguishing the two is not based on whether one is service or one is not service. That's not the principle.
okay,
So it's based
okay.
on the law.
Okay, the law. Oh, okay, I
I
get.
don't want to go into specifics because it's tax related matters.
Exactly, is a task related, exactly. So I just
We
want
can
to be
talk
sure.
better outside.
Oh, all right, that's fine,
Yeah.
fine.
Samuel, I hope this person's question was able to address your question. But if it did not address your question, okay, you said you have changed your device. Last chance. You have the mic. Samuel, you have the mic. Samuel, can you hear us? You have the mic. We tried our best. Oluwafemi Daniel said, does it mean we are going to withhold VAT from the vendor invoice? Remember, not all companies are obligated to withhold VAT. Only a few companies have the obligation to withhold VAT before paying their vendors. Check the act if your company falls in that list. If your company is not in that list, don't go and withhold VAT that they will slap you over. Don't go and withhold somebody's money when you are not supposed to withhold it. Be sure and be correct. Priscilla said, how about those not on the group chat? How do we get the recorded class? No, when we put the video out on our YouTube channel or on our website, everybody has access to it. It's not withheld from anybody. Don't worry. Just check our YouTube channel, maybe on Tuesday or Monday. You will see it there. Yes, exactly, B. Okay. Guys, do we still have any question? Can you believe Samuel is unmuted though and we can't hear himself? Do we have any question? All right. In the absence of no question, I want to thank everyone again and use this opportunity again to advertise our upcoming training starting next week. Like I mentioned at the beginning, in the training starting next week, we'll not only be talking accounting, we'll also be talking industry stuff. We haven't decided yet. It's either we touch on upstream accounting or downstream for oil and gas, but we'll touch on something on oil and gas as an industry discussion. We'll touch on fintech. We would also touch on FMCG. So it's going to be an interesting training and you shouldn't miss it. We'll also be touching on Sage accounting software. We'll be taking some 2 days to illustrate Sage accounting software. My number has been sent to the chat box. You can chat me up if you wish to enroll. We ensure that the amount is affordable. It's 10,000 naira that we placed it at. If you compare the value of what you get and the money, you'll find out that the two can't be compared. and we can boast about that. Most of our trainings they are not really to make money. Heck, how much are we making from all these things? It's actually to give back to the profession. So we'll be happy to have you on board for the training starting next week, and for further trainings that we might have in the year. Thank you all. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I've sent the number. The number is the accounting yard number. It's not my number. That's accounting yard number. My own number is 070. Can you believe that I've forgotten my number? And I sent it. Okay, that's 081 070 11294. That's my number. You can reach me. If you have any practical accounting issues, send me a chat. Once I'm able to respond, I will respond. Sometimes I may delay because I'm swamped with work. But once I'm able to respond, I will definitely respond. Thank you, everybody, for joining. And I hope to see you in our training starting next week. Enjoy. Have a great weekend.